Hey everybody, I had a request to go ahead and do an example of specific identification. Um, so I'm just going to walk you through this. I actually took this from number 4 in the week 9 quiz access chapter 5, but it's a little different. Your numbers will probably be different too, but it's the same concept. So we have all of this information for a company. It shows us the number of, so it has their activities for this year, and then it has some of the units that they acquired at their cost and some of the ones they sold at the retail price. And then it gives us this additional information. They use a periodic inventory system. Ending inventory consists of 45 units from the March 14th purchase, 75 units from the July 30th purchase, all 160 from the October 26th purchase. And then we're supposed to figure out the cost of goods sold and the ending inventory. And so what's nice about specific identification is you don't have to worry about what sold first or what sold last or anything like that. We know, or we are given the information to figure out which units are actually sold. So to attack this, I'm just going to go up here again, look at this and say our ending inventory consists of 45 units from the March 14th purchase. So our ending inventory will be 45 units. Whoops, if I can type, 45 units from that purchase, and then 75 units from the July 30th purchase. So 75 of those, and all 160 units from the 26 October purchase. So that's what we have left. Looks like we don't have any from the beginning inventory. Then we can just use subtraction to figure out which units actually sold, right? So if we had a beginning inventory of 260 units from January 1st and we had zero left at the end, it means we must have sold all 260 of those units. We can do the same thing here. I'm going to just say the number of units we had available minus what we had left over will tell us the number of units we sold. And do the same. So the number of units we had minus the units left over. And then here we could do that too, or we could just say we had 160 and at the beginning and we still have 160 at the end, so we sold zero of these. Then we can just copy this cost of unit information straight over. So I'm just going to copy this, paste it, and we'll paste it here as well. And now to find our cost of goods sold, we're just going to take the number of units that we sold times those units. We can fill that down. It's going to screw up our formatting a little bit, but we could fix that if we want to. So all we did is multiply 260 units sold times 1240 to get the cost of goods sold for the beginning inventory, 375 units times 1740 to get the cost of goods sold for the units purchased on March 14th, 385 times 2240 to get the cost of goods sold for the units purchased on July 30th, and the same, but here we had zero sold. We can do the same process to figure out the value of our ending inventory. So again, just the amount in inventory times the cost per unit. And again, we can just use our little tool to fill that down. And then we'll just take a sum at the end. Whoops, wrong one. Well, I guess we could do that. So if depending on what we need, let me look at the how the problem is set up. Um, we can just do a sum. This will give us the total number of units sold. We don't need that one, but this will tell us the total cost of those units sold. We can do the same thing here. The number of units still left in inventory at the end of the month and the cost of those units. So again, pretty easy in the sense that we don't have to worry about first in, first out or last in, first out. All we have to do is in this case, it gives us the number of units we have left over, so we can subtract that from the number of units we had available during the month, and that tells us how many we sold take the number sold times their cost. That gives us cost of goods sold. And take the number sold times their, or sorry, the number in ending inventory times their cost, and that tells us our ending inventory. This problem also goes on to ask for, problem four goes on to ask for the gross margin. We could do that. We have the sales price. So we could say, okay, we sold, um, we have 280 units in the end, and we sold 1,020 of those units. So we could, if we wanted to figure out our sales, just say we sold 1,020 units times their sales price, which was $42.40. So that's our sales minus our cost of goods sold, which we figured out right here, our cost of goods sold. So our gross margin will just be sales minus cost of goods sold. That's it. So for a lot of people, once you figure it out, specific identification is the easiest one because you don't have to worry about first in, first out, last in, first out. You just have to uh, figure out how many units you still have, and then you can use that to figure out how many units you sold. Other times they'll present the problem where they tell you how many units you sold, and you'd have to use subtraction to figure out how many you still have left over. So I hope that helps. I hope it's valuable to you, and thanks a bunch.